So there's a lot of reasons that people want to own practices. I know when I was getting out of vet school and I was planning to own a practice pretty soon, a lot of it was I wanted to kind of call my own shots, pick my own style of medicine, build my own culture with the practice. But one thing that I didn't pick up on initially, and I certainly understand now, is equity. In fact, a lot of us will say that equity is the holy grail of practice ownership. And I use an example often of two classmates. They graduated the same year from the same vet school, and they took two completely different pathways. So one of the classmates decides to be an associate veterinarian for their veterinary career. And the other classmate says, okay, you do that and I'll buy a practice. And let's just keep in touch and we'll kind of check our life progress at year 10 and year 20 and we'll just see how things go along. Both of them work really hard. They both agree to take the same annual salary, say $120,000 a year. They both agree to put $2,000 a year into a retirement account. They both agree to use the same financial advisor. Therefore, they're getting the same investment return of around 4% per year on an annualized basis. And they get together for their 10-year reunion, and the practice owner asks the associate, how are you doing? How's your personal net worth coming? And proudly states, I was faithful. I put money away every single year, and it's worth just around $27,000 right now. He says, how about you? How are you doing? And the practice owner says, same thing with investments. Of course, we use the same investor and get the same returns. So I've got about the same amount in my 401k too. But the good news is I just paid off my practice. So I literally could sell my practice today for $750,000. I just got the appraisal back. But I'm going to keep it because we said we'd talk to each other in about another 10 years. And so another decade goes by and they get together for their 20-year reunion. And the associate asks the practice owner, he says, how's things look for you financially? And he says, no, you go first. And he says, well, I kept doing the same thing we said we'd do, $2,000 a year, every year, 4% return on investment. I'm happy that I've got a little over $50,000 in my retirement account. He says, but enough about me, how are you doing? He says, well, I'm just getting ready to sell my practice. I think I'm gonna retire. I've got the same $50-some thousand that you do in your 401k, as you might expect. We did the same investing. I'm selling my practice for $750,000. But during years 11 through 20, I didn't have a practice loan payment anymore. So I was able to take that $89,000 that I was spending on loan payments, and I also put that away in my savings account. So I'm going to say that as of right now, my net worth's $1.6 million, almost $1.7 million. And his buddy looks at him, he says, wow, he says, that's 18 times bigger than my net worth. And he looks back to his friend, he says, yeah, and the tragedy is we both squeezed the same number of anal glands over the last 20 years. So really the point of the matter is, there's nothing wrong with being an associate. That's great. We need associates. But just understand your expectations need to be different at the end of your career, possibly with your financial look. There's just no way to gain the same amount of financial performance being a W-2 employee versus being a business owner. So think about equity as well as other aspects of practice ownership.